GoodFellaMedia. I am your boy QS. We're here with one of GoodFellaMedia's. This is one of our favorite artists. We talk about the homie all the time. GLC is in the building, man. How you doing, my man?
Hey, man, I'm doing too blessed to be stressed, too anointed to be disappointed. Pimpin' got long reach and it ain't even double jointed. Church!
When I'm asleep, I hear the voice of my mom saying, baby, just reach for the top. Reach for the top of the world. I'm overdosed with girls. Please tell me, how could I stop? Blowing kush so I can feel the rush of the sneaker boutiques when I shop. Feels important to grab all the Jordans as a shorty that I cannot cop.
I gotta talk about like how you come up with these messages at the end of any song. I mean, one, what you did on Section 80, like,
yeah,
we sing the praises of that every day because it was such amazing knowledge, and you do that on a consistent basis. And I didn't really hear that much before. I've been hearing it so much more from you recently.
Yes, sir.
Like, what brings you to come up with these speeches that just come off the top? Like, you speak like that on a regular basis, so it's so bugged out, man.
Well, I tell you what it is, man. It's just life growing up in Chicago. You know, at the end of the day, you can either become a victim of circumstance or make your circumstance a victim of you. You know what I'm saying? And I am the light. You know what I'm saying? I am the merciful. I am the all-knowing.
Case in point,
and at the end of the day, I am the wisdom. And I am the sunshine. You know, and I went through a lot, and I sacrificed so much, and I did it for you.
It seemed you and Kanye West. I mean, you guys is just like, you know, you thought of you two always together, and I know you guys are very, very, very close friends, like on some growing up young. And I think things got separated, and you could see from musically just alone how you guys have kind of parted ways, and even mindset. You know what I mean? What was the moment that kind of made things split a little bit? I know you guys still talk, but it's not the same anymore. Like what happened that made it like that?
Well, at the end of the day, Kanye is that dude right there was a beacon of light for my life, because when I met him, I was a kid. We both was kids, 15, and I was living in the hood.
Mm-hmm.
He was living in a nicer area, and we met through a mutual friend. And in the hood, you know, you got into things, you got into mischief and shit just because it was there, you know, and you was young, and at that time, you may not have had the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding to not become a product of your environment. So what Kanye and Miss West, more so than anything, what they provided for me was an outlet to get out the hood, to go to the suburbs on the weekends and shit, and see a crib out in Tinley Park or Hazelcrest or Blue Island, or
the nicer
different places where he was living, because his mom, she was doing very well for herself. Like, before he got on, she was doing very well for herself, you know what I'm saying? And she was a very righteous woman, and man, she was really into like liberation of African people and, you know, power and pride and shit. And that was something that was instilled in me by my brother, because that's something that he always preached from childhood, you know what I'm saying? Like a sense of knowing and a sense of pride in who you are, you know what I'm saying? So we was able to relate on that, you know what I'm saying? But we grew and we developed over time, and, you know, I was there for him, you know. I kept niggas off of him. I made sure he was straight.
I knew that role was
my
young.
man. You know what I'm saying? My man, like my ace, you know what I'm saying? I aided and assisted him in any endeavor that was righteous, you know, and sometimes they may not have been as righteous, but my loyalty lied, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, man, I got to see the world. I traveled without even having to join the service and shit.
Yeah.
I ended up on 2 Grammy Award-winning albums and a few Grammy-nominated albums and shit. So it was a hell of a ride, man. But in all honesty, the crazy part about it is I'm often asked that question. People be like, yo, so what happened? What's going on? This and that. And in all honesty, I truly feel as if, you know, when, like, private business should remain private, because if you make private business public, then, you know, things fall apart and it seems like a cry for help or a sign of weakness or whatever.
Yeah.
But with Kanye and I, the thing with me is I'm very proud of him and his career and his success, because I know it's something that he always wanted, like to be working with Jay-Z and the things that he's doing right now. That was his dream as a kid. Now, we both shared the same dream as far as being artists, but his dream just took him down a different path. Because in life, you come into you reach forks in the road, and when you reach the fork in the road, you got to determine which one you're gonna go down. And he chose the one he wanted to go down, and I chose mine. You know, but at the end of the day, it's still love. It's still a sign of respect.
Yeah.
And man, there's really no hard feelings. But in all honesty, I really don't have an answer.
But I guess I think you just hit it. Like your mentalities both hit somewhere different to move forward into the next step.
Yeah,
and I
life,
think
people grow together, they grow apart.
Yeah,
you know, and people may have the same goals, but you may not always have the same way of obtaining them.
I find it amazing when you speak the way you're speaking right now, because it's like I feel like in music you have this combination of space age pimping with extreme political and social awareness. You know what I mean? And it's like I find it real dope how you tend to gauge those things and intertwine that into your music, and it's very unique. I mean, I think to like Pimp C, as he used to do that also in his music. You know what I mean? And it's like, what brings you in that mindset to make that kind of fusion?
Well, what brings me in the mindset is that right there. Look at her.
Right, show them what he's looking at right there.
You want to do good with your life, you know what I'm saying? But you really want to make sure that you're doing the right thing, because that is cathedral-fied out there, you know what I'm saying? But she might have a mindset on another direction, and I ain't trying to hit her with none of this pimping or affection, you know what I'm saying? Church, the congregation, you know, but I'll tell you, women love it. Women love when you talk this ism, when you speak this desire or the love of them, or the things that they do for you and how they make you feel. You know, they enjoy that. But at the end of the day, aside from that, I have a duty to raise the awareness, you know, because I'm an artist, and as artists, we ain't just rappers and shit. We are fathers. We raising these young kids because they listening to us. And I'm just sick of seeing these kids dying and going to the joint. You know what I'm saying? Like if I come from that angle, it's always a cause and effect. It ain't never just like, yo, this is what I'm on. I want to be out here killing motherfuckers. It's like, if you do this, then this may happen to you, you know?
Cause and effect.
Cause and effect. And the thing is, I like to raise the awareness of the consequences of your actions, because being unaware of the consequences of your actions, you will have to suffer the consequences, you know? But if you are aware, you can maneuver, and you may not even run into consequences and shit. But speaking of consequence, shout out to my nigga Consequence from Queens. Church. You know what I'm saying?
You lost your father. You didn't even know who he was. You lost your mother before you hit your teens, man.
Yeah.
Like, but you're so positive. There's a smile on your face. You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you stay like that?
Well, the thing is, losing my father, losing my mom, and actually at 14, I died and came back. I was diagnosed with diabetes, and I flatlined, and I was in intensive care for a week. I came out the coma and shit. My brothers and sisters were standing over me, and you know, after losing my father's life, my mom's life, and my life, what else can happen?
It's, you know, the other thing I wanted to know was, after all that, like, you got down with the GDs. I'm going to call it GDs because everybody has a different name for it.
Definitely. I know you... Growth and Development.
I know you go with the Growth and Development. Some other people
Well,
say,
when I joined, it was Gangsta Disciple.
There we go.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? How did you get involved with that? And kind of explain how the message is not so much on the gangster negative level and how it's changed into something more positive.
Well, at the end of the day, I got down with it because I grew up in a neighborhood that was a GD neighborhood. And my neighborhood was called Georgetown. It was on 87th Street. And we were surrounded by different gangs, mainly Blackstones and Vice Lords. And at that time, we were victims of genocide, and we were confused, and we thought that these guys were our opposition. So due to the fact that I was in that neighborhood, you know, we had to band together because there was a lot of opposition lurking, you know. So, you know, we united. We was looking for a brotherhood. We was actually looking for a father figure. It was just something to belong to without having a father, you know. And we looked up to the guys that was getting it, like mainly the hustlers. But we didn't know they was hustling. They was like well-dressed, suited up, drove nice cars, had real estate, had properties, but they got down too, you know, and that's what we looked up to. So we sort of like followed in those footsteps, and we joined these different organizations just for a sense of belonging.
Church. Yeah.